Hello friends, my name is Jana Eubank with Let's Gather and Glue. Today, Becky Adams and I are throwing our own little International Scrapbooking Day celebration, and we're so excited to be creating with you today. Becky's sketch layout was last hour, and now I'm going to be creating a sketch layout with you. Now, even though these are premiere videos, I will be in the comments chatting away with you, chatting along with you. So if you have any questions about what I'm doing, please feel free to ask in the comments because I am there hanging out with you. Now, also next hour, we are going to be scrapbooking live, Becky Adams and I, and we are going to be using this mood board. For International Scrapbook Day, we created this free download. You can find it in our Let's Gather and Glue Facebook group. So if you haven't snagged that, please go grab it. It's free for everyone. You just need to request to be part of the group. So in this free download, you have 5 different sketches designed by both Becky Adams and I. And then we also have a mood board, and this is the one we'll be creating with next hour. Becky Adams just created with this sketch. I'm going to be creating with this sketch today. And then of course, there's 3 more. So you have 4 single page sketches and 1 double page sketch. Now I'm really excited to be working with these sketches today. I have also printed this out a little bit larger so that I can refer to it as we create. This particular sketch has 1 3.5 by 5 vertical photo and then 1 3 by 3 photo. There's lots of fun layers to play with and then a scattering of elements. These could be flowers, these could be hearts, these could be butterflies, all kinds of possibilities with this. You have a title over here on the left-hand side and then some journaling strips over here on the right. Now, of course, you can switch this up. You can turn the sketch and do your title over here, whatever way you want to play with it. And I'm excited to see what you create with the sketches. Please feel free to come over to the group and post your results. All right, so for today, I'm going to be, let me leave my sketch up here for a second. For my sketch today, I thought I would work with some prom photos of my daughter from a few years ago, since that's kind of the season, right? 'Tis the season. And then I grabbed some scraps of the beautiful Maggie Holmes Woodland Grove collection. These are some scraps that I had left over after taking a class by Becky Adams, ironically, right? So I have created some pages with this, but I have a few pieces that I think I'll be able to use up with this layout today. And of course, the green and pink will go so pretty with my daughter's red hair and her green dress. I also have some fussy cut like tag paper elements in this little pocket along with the journaling ephemera, whatever I have left over the journaling ephemera. And then there was also the floral ephemera. I have some gold pieces and a few floral pieces left over from that. So we'll see if we could utilize those. I also have the thickers. These ones are called Shimmer. They come with both gold and this pearlescent white. And then I have fussy cut a few scallops from one of the pattern papers. And then I also grabbed a piece of craft cardstock. And I have a piece of white cardstock as well. So we'll see if I need to grab anything else. Off to the side, I've grabbed some heart punches. I have some flower dies, heart dies, butterfly dies, just all your basics. So, and even like a photo corner punch. Not sure if I'll utilize these, but it's nice to have those basics handy. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm excited to create with you today, and whether you're creating with us live during the premiere or on replay, it's so fun to have you. Thank you for joining us. All right, so I think I'm going to utilize this white piece of cardstock for my background. And then I also thought, I love color. I usually use pattern paper as my background, but I was thinking I would either use this pink as a border to go with the border of this page or this craft color. I'm not exactly sure. I do know that I think I'm going to mat my photos with this piece of wood grain paper that I have left over. I just thought that that would look really nice against the other papers as I start to layer them, kind of a neutral that'll help those photos to pop against the other papers. So I might just go ahead and use this pink one, and then if I won't glue the white on there in case I change my mind. So let's cut down this white background. I'm kind of just tossing all the scraps on the desk here, and that's usually how it goes, right? And then you start figuring it out. So I'm going to cut this down to I'm going to take 3/8 of an inch off each side so that my border around the entire layout is 3/16 once I've matted this on another piece of paper. So what is that? 11 5/8. So 11 5/8 square is what I'm going to start with this white cardstock. I'm also going to use my trimmer to gut out the center of this pink paper, because even though I may use this as a border, I think I may also use the inside piece as a layer, or I might fussy cut some of those butterflies as accents later. So let's go ahead and trim this down. And then if you haven't cut pieces of pattern paper, what that means is you're just going to cut a square out of the center, especially when you're just using it as a frame around your background, and then you're saving the middle piece. Now, if you have tons and tons of pattern paper, you don't really necessarily need to do this. I just like to do it because I only have one of these papers, and so I want to definitely utilize the inside portion either for a mat or a layer elsewhere on this page. So my gutting doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but what I'm doing is I'm just setting down my blade of my trimmer right in the center of that page and just making a slit. I'm going to go around each edge, and then after I've made 4 slits, I will have a square. Now the great thing is you can use the measurements on your trimmer to help you to do this if you want a perfect square, but that will be just up to you. All right, I think I am going to use that pink. I just love the color of it. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe lightly tack this down just in case I change my mind later. I'm also going to distress the edges here, and I like to ink my edges with a light gray ink. It's just a nice neutral that helps the paper to stand out, like the paper layers from one another, but it's totally a personal preference, and you definitely don't need to do this. It's just something I like to do. I kind of picked it up during the inking days back in the 2000s, 2010s, and I just still like it. But I mostly use gray ink on everything because I'm too lazy to pick out different colors. And the gray is just kind of a nice middle ground neutral that goes with everything. All right, I'm using my trusty edge distresser to just add some texture to this background. And now I think I might stitch around the edge of this, so I don't want to put my adhesive right behind that edge so that my sewing machine needle gets all gummed up. So I'm actually going to add my adhesive towards or around the edge of this inner square that I gut earlier, however you want to say that. So we'll measure this or center this the best we can. You guys having a good National Scrapbook Day? Hope there's so many fun things going on. I hope you're doing a little shopping and treating yourself, but if not, I hope you're utilizing your stash, because that's what Becky Adams and Let's Gather and Glue is all about. It's all about using up our stash and creating with all the beautiful things that we have collected. All right, I think I am just gonna go ahead with that pink. Yes, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring in my sewing machine here, and we're gonna quickly stitch around the edges. Now, I may fast forward some parts of this video, but for the most part, we will be creating in real time together. So let's see how long this goes. So if you are shopping today, tell us about the deals you've been able to find. There's lots of places that are having sales. I just placed an order to officesupply.com, picking up some older collections and tools that I've had my eye on. Becky's been using a leaf punch by EK Success in a lot of our most recent videos, and officesupply.com has it on sale right now. So I'm like, I'm gonna add that to my collection. So tell me what you're shopping for today. If you're shopping for some new papers, or if you have your eye on some tools that you want to add to your arsenal, I'd love to hear about it. We could chat about it in the comments while I stitch this. Now another supply I grabbed to work with today is some gold spray mist. The gold that I'm working with today is Altenew, and I'll show that to you in just a second. I thought I might sprinkle some on my background just to add some interest before we start building our layers. And it's not gonna be, you know, you're not gonna see a lot of it. I'm not a big mixed media person. It kind of scares me, honestly. And I'm really impatient about letting things dry. And so I usually keep my mixed media to things like sprinkling ink or coloring in stamped images, things that are pretty easy that I don't need to wait a long time for, or you know, that are pretty predictable. I'm a chicken when it comes to that stuff. But I know many of you are experts and brave and try all kinds of mixed media. So I'd love to see what you try. Maybe we need to have, you know, some of you show us what you do with mixed media. That would be fun. Okay, we're on our fourth side here. So we'll just finish this up. And then we're gonna sprinkle the background with some gold mist just to give it a little bit of shine. I just think, you know, prom pictures, things like that, they could go for a little gold accents. Also, this collection has some gold elements in it, including the letter stickers. And so I think the gold splatter will be fun to add to the background so that it ties in with that. I'm just pulling my threads through to the back side of this layout, and then I'm going to tape them down just with some Scotch tape. I will also add Scotch tape around these inner edges on the back of my layout just so they don't get caught on anything, but I will do that later. Okay, here is my Altenew gold ink. I do need to shake it up a little bit. Now looking at the sketch, I'm going to think about where I want to put my gold splatters. Probably some up here by my title, some over here on the right, pretty much just around the edges. I think I will do these three corners, maybe a little bit at the bottom. Most of the time I forget to do this, and I'll actually, you know, cover my photos and elements at the end of creating a layout and do it at the end if I feel like I need it. So if you don't want to add splatter, you can feel free to add it at the end for sure. It's a little trickier to cover things up. Now, sometimes it gets scary, like you think you're putting way too much on, but just remember, we are going to cover most of this with photos and paper layers. So we're just kind of going to get some around the edges. Okay. All right, my desk did get lots of splatter everywhere. Good thing I have a cleaning cloth close by, and I'm just gonna wipe that up. In fact, I have some water here to help me. Dilute that a little bit more. We'll just get that cleaned up, and then we'll be ready to keep rocking and rolling. It's kind of got all over the edge of this. I'm just going to clean that up real quick. Do you guys like to use spray mist? Feels like companies haven't made it for a while. So maybe you have some in your stash that you want to try using. Okay, so that's what it looks like. I'm just going to set that aside to dry. And while that's drying, let's work on our, whoa, I got some, just got a big streak of gold across my desk here. All right, just use some water to get that up. Anyway, while that is drying, we are going to start building our layers. I'm gonna go ahead and mat my photos. I did mat them with some white cardstock. Now, I know a lot of people print their photos with some white borders. I don't know why, but my printer always grabs the paper wrong, and so I can never cut it straight. So usually I just mat it myself after the fact, just because I get so frustrated trying to get those photo mats straight. Okay, so I'm going to mat both of these with this wood grain paper. And I'm going to bring in my Perfect Layers tools. We Are Memory Keepers also makes these. They're called layer guides. And I'm going to use these to get some even edges around my photo. Now, I am going to save this longest strip of wood grain because I might use this side or the wood grain in my layers later on. I can't talk today. Okay, as for the width, now I did put a 1/16 inch white edge on all of these photos. And now I think on my smaller photo, I'm going to do a 1/8 inch edge. So I'm just going to butt this up to that white edge and then trim this down. And then I think for my larger photo, I'm going to probably do a 3/16. Just because it is my main photo and it's a little taller or a little larger. So to keep the mats looking proportionate, I'm going to do that one a little larger. Do you like to mat your photos or do you leave them plain with plain edges? We're all a little different. Maybe you only do white or colored cardstock for your mats. Okay, I think we're set there. Now, as I'm looking at the sketch, you can see that the photos are matted. There's a couple of strips in the center, and then in the background, there's a rectangular piece, if I could talk, a rectangular piece, a larger rectangular piece that the title is kind of anchored on, and then there's another strip going horizontally in the background. I think for this lighter rectangular strip, I'm going to do this green paper because I had this nice slice of it. I guess I could do it this opposite way. I'm trying to think what I want to use as my largest rectangle. I just love the green. Okay, let's ink these edges a little. I might distress these too, the photo mats. For some reason, when I'm doing paper that's kind of vintagey feeling, I like to distress the edges. Just give them a light scrape with the edge of your scissors or an edge distressing tool. My edge distressing tool is super old. It's by Making Memories. But Tonic made one. But a lot of people just use, open their scissors and use the edge of their scissors to do it. Just be careful not to cut yourself. Okay, I think I'm going to use, well, I might change my mind here, guys. There's that, or there's the blue. I just love the green so much. Okay, I think I'm going to start with the green as my largest layer in the back, and then we're going to play with some other papers over here. We have this really pretty pink piece as well. But I wonder what that would look like on top of that one. Okay, let's start with the green piece. I think that's my largest piece. And I'm just utilizing my scraps here. So I'm not sure exactly what the measurements are going to be. This is about 7 inches high. So 7 inches high. Let me square this piece off and then set it to the side. So 7 inches high, and then let's see how wide we want to do it. I'm going to bring in my ruler. We have some strips that we're going to add. Let's make this 8 3/4 wide. Okay, I'm going to try this pink one once more before I totally decide. Yeah, I just like that green. Do I have anything else? I don't have anything larger except for, I think I have a paper with zebras on it. And for some reason, zebras just don't feel very prom to me, you know? There's a scallop. All right, I'm gonna stick with this, or the other thing we could do, sorry, I'm throwing things all over the place, is this tan. I might bring in that tan if I need to make this bigger, but let's go back to this, and I think I said 8 3/4. So 7 inches high and 8 3/4 inch wide. Ooh, here we go. Okay, 8 3/4. We're gonna start there. Now I know my florals are kind of going sideways, but I think once we have all our other layers on top, you're not even gonna really notice that. So let's edge distress this one. And that's gonna be our main layer in the background. Okay, now if you look at the sketch, let me bring it back. So the layer I just did was this back one. Now I'm gonna do this white layer that goes on top that kind of anchors. And I think for that, I'm going to do the pink that we have in the border. So there's that pink. There's also this dark pink, which could be fun. I like that. And then there's this pink floral. Ooh, I like the pink floral. I think I'm gonna do the pink floral. Okay, so let's figure out a measurement. So according to this, it does hang down lower. It's gonna be something like this. So let's cut that one to 7 3/4, or no, let's do 8. Let's do 8 by 5.5. 8 by 5.5. So 8 by 5.5. And then we're going to decide whether we're going to use the pink floral side or the dark pink side. What do you guys think? There's the dark pink. I think I like the dark pink. I think I like that contrast. Oh, for sure. Okay. I'm wondering if I should have made these a little wider, but we're gonna go with it. Okay, we're gonna center that piece. We can go ahead and mat our photos. However, there are going to be some vertical strips. So I think I'm just going to add adhesive under the left edge so I can tuck those strips in just a minute. Maybe something like, no, that feels a little low. I think I'm gonna move up this pink one. I'm super indecisive today. Are you guys like that sometimes? Oh my goodness. I think I just matted that a little too low. Lower than I wanted to. Yeah, that feels a little better. Okay, so let's bring this back in. And then for this one, I'm gonna set this one over here to the right. And the bottom edges are aligned with each other. Okay, now we do have a piece that is gonna go underneath along the bottom. So we just did these two. Now we need this horizontal bar, and then we'll work on the two vertical strips. So I'm wondering if this would be a good place. Actually, it's not even tall enough, so we're not gonna use that. Let's see what we've got over here. Ooh, this is gonna get tricky. I have this green one. What's on the other side? Some tickets, that's fun. And then I have this brown piece. So maybe, oh, I like the brown. Let's bring in some brown. Okay, I'm going to look back at my sketch and see how large that is. I'm gonna make it a little taller than my sketch just because I want it to kind of go right here where my daughter's head is. So I'm gonna make just a little mark of about where I think I'm gonna do that layer. Okay, let's trim that down. And I am just like tossing things on the ground. This is pretty crazy fun. I'm notorious for losing track of time, so trying to stay on time. Okay, let's ink this one up a little bit. And I might even distress this one a little bit too. How's your pages coming along? What colors are you working with today? Are you working with muted colors like I am, kind of elegant colors? You working with bright colors? What have you got going? Okay, I like how that ties into the photo mats. Okay, I think I'm ready to add this, and then we will do our vertical strips. So if you look at the sketch, it is pushed a little bit towards the left, so you have a larger margin over here on the right. Mine is not exactly like the sketch, but it's close. So we're just going to make adjustments as we go. Okay, we still need our vertical strips. And I don't know how that's going to work out because I've kind of cut into my longest pieces, but let's go ahead and see what we have. We have that floral piece. We have this pink piece, which isn't super long, but we could maybe do something with that. We could use another brown piece. That's too short now. So maybe we'll just have to utilize this green piece, which I think is really fun. And I have cut out some tickets from this one, from it previously, so maybe I'll layer those two up, and I think that will be really fun. So let's cut this one about right here. For those of you who want a measurement for the tan piece, I did that one at 9.5 by 4. 9.5 by 4. This green one is going to be about 2 1/8. I'm just centering this grid pattern on there. So whatever works for yours. So I'm going to tear the top and bottom of this piece. Again, let's look at our sketch to see how tall these strips are. They are a little taller. Maybe something like that. I think that feels pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to ink up this, tuck that in there, and then we'll layer our ticket on top. And maybe we'll tuck in that scallop piece too. I think that might be cute. We'll try it on. We'll audition it. So this one's going to get tucked behind the two photos. Something like that. Then we have, where'd our ticket piece go? We have our ticket piece, which is fun. And maybe we have the shorter piece layered on top. Maybe we could layer something in there. Let's see what we've got. We've got the lighter pink. We've got this blue piece. I think we should maybe try the pink, this lighter pink. So I'm going to cut a piece of this, maybe 1 3/4. I'm just going to try it. Yeah, that's pretty cute. Let's tuck that in there. So I did 1 3/4, and then I'll give you the measurement going the other way. It is about 8.5 high. So we're going to sneak that in there. I like that. Then I still think we want to add in our ticket. I just like that. I just think that's super cute. I might add the scallop. It might be too colorful, but but I'm going to try it. Let's just see what it would look like if we layer that under there. That's cute. Let's go back and see if there's another ticket color. There's this whiter purple one, but I don't think I want to bring purple in. I like that this one has pink. There's also this dark green one. Maybe I'll trim that one out and see what that looks like too. Maybe we want 2 ticket strips. We're just using up our scraps here, guys. I love it. Okay, so if we do that one there, our green one there. Ooh, I like that. And then do we want to still bring in the color? I think we're going to cut this white one down to there. Then I'm going to layer the green one on top of it. And probably cut that one. Let's actually tear that one. I like the idea of tearing that one. Okay, so let's add those together. And I think I'm going to cover the ones just because I feel like it's a little distracting. And then let's add that scallop underneath the edge. We're just having all kinds of fun with this color. And then I'm going to trim off the scallop so that we don't have like weird half scallop pieces. Okay, let's see what that looks like so far. Does that cover our pink up too much? Maybe it covers our pink up too much. I don't know, I kind of like it. Okay, I'm gonna go roll with it. I like just a little bit of that pink peeking out. And then of course there's still pink in the scallops. There's still pink in the, you know, where that number 1 is peeking out. So I think it's okay. Yeah, I think that's fun. Okay, so there's our layers so far. Hopefully that's fun. And I think those are our base layers. Yes, so we have our title. We have all of our base layers all added in. Now we have our title and these scattering dots and then our journaling. So let's open up our ephemera and kind of take a look at what we have. I'm not even sure what is left in these pieces, so we might play with this a little bit. In our journaling ephemera, I remember in my last layout, I did like, you know, do a bunch of cut aparts. So we have some tags and some label shapes that might be fun. To, you know, kind of sneak in here. Maybe we want a little more pink or something. Maybe we want some tags peeking out the top. I don't know, we'll come back to those. So there's those. Those are the cut aparts. Then as for the journaling pieces, we have some butterflies, which are really cute. However, they're clear. And I actually struggle using clear elements on my layouts. So I'm not sure I want to use those clear pieces. There's super cute title options, but I just don't know if they're gonna show up on this floral here. But let's go ahead and look at the other pieces. We've got a flower. I always love flowers. We have some zebras, some label pieces, some tickets. These might be fun to tuck in here and there. So not a ton of like scattering pieces. We might utilize that flower, so I'll leave that there. Let's go over and see what's left of our floral pieces. We'll open that up. I'll bring in another tray so we can spread those out. And I think there's some florals in here. I think there's some gold foil butterflies. So there's a gold floral. Here's some gold floral butterflies. Maybe those would be better. And then here we have some floral pieces that we might be able to create, you know, some floral clusters. I kind of like this little label stuck in right there. I think that's fun to bring some pink to that side of the page. So I'm going to go ahead and just tuck that in. This is from the cut apart sheet. And then looking at our sketch, I'm going to bring this in. So we're going to just tuck this in just to kind of break the boundary a little bit and give that some variety. I think where these two circles are on the bottom left corner, let's try creating a floral cluster. So we have those two florals. I like that. It repeats the pink. And then maybe we want to do something right here. Here's another blue flower. Maybe we want to add a floral cluster right here. We have a large pink one again. And we have this blue one. So maybe we kind of repeat the same floral cluster going across. I like that. There's some black and white branches. There's some golden leaves. I'm not sure I want to use these. Ooh, I kind of like this black one tucked in just to make that one feel a little more big, feel larger. I don't have black ones to tuck in over here. Not sure I'm going to use that. I'm thinking. I like that. Now we have these blue flowers that we can use the leaves. So I'm going to cut those off actually, of both of them. And maybe we can just use the leaves. I like that. Although I think I'm going to switch out this smaller one to go down here and put this larger one up here. I don't think I'm going to use that. But I might tuck in these gold leaves maybe. I don't know. I'll come back to those. Okay, so we have kind of two clusters going right here in these two spaces. We have some journaling strips, and then maybe we'll just sprinkle in some butterflies. Let's go ahead and pop these up. I like where these flowers are. I'm going to stick with it. I'm just using 1mm foam squares. To give these a little lift and dimension, a little bit of a shadow effect. I do want to tuck in these leaves. For this, I'll do some smaller squares. And my backing's not wanting to peel off my squares, of course, because that's how creating live goes. But typically what I do is I'll adhere all of my, background layers flat to the page. Sometimes I'll pop up my photos. Sometimes I pop up my journaling, but most of the time I leave my photos and my journaling and my background layers flat. And then I'll use 1mm thick foam to layer up everything else, and kind of so that those elements pop forward. Let's pop up this black one too. And for this, I'm just putting the squares under the tip so that I can tuck in the stem. I like how this black piece also ties into the photos. We have a little bit of black and white on that label that's peeking out, so this little stem right here kind of repeats that black color, and hopefully, and the tickets had that black and white color. Okay, let's work on popping up this other cluster. See, maybe I should start with the largest piece first. That would probably make sense, right? I like how that pink bridges, this large pink flower kind of bridges across all of the strips and also the photos, marrying those layers together. I think that's nice. Just peeling off my backings over here. How are your layouts coming along? So I'm going to tuck that piece in there. Then we have our blue one. So let's put some foam on that one. Give this one some dimension. And then I'm wondering if these gold butterflies I was thinking about using, I'm wondering if they're too big, guys. We're gonna have to try them out. Okay, so this blue one I'm kind of adhering sideways, but it works, or upside down, I guess. And then we'll add these leaves right there. I like that these florals, some of the florals have like the gold foil accents on that. That's really pretty. Especially for dance photos. Okay, so do we need more leaves? Let's see. I'm not sure. We have this gold leaf, which might be fun. We'll come back to that. Or we could put like another piece of flower over here to kind of fill up that. What about this yellow one? I'm not sure. Or maybe tuck in some of these blue. No, I don't like that. There's the purple. Is that weird? I don't know. It feels like it needs something. What do you guys think? Maybe the pink one. There's the gold one. Oh, I like the gold one. I just feel like I want to break some boundaries over here. Those leaves kind of blend in. So either that pink one, I think, or this pink one. That one almost feels too small. Let's try the purple one once more. Ooh, the purple's fun. Even though I guess I have purple here, and maybe I need a little purple there, like a trio of purple. Okay, let's do the purple one. At first I said I wasn't gonna add any purple, but here I go, adding purple. Classic, right? All right, let's tuck that in. I like how it's connecting, but also breaking the boundaries a little bit. And then let's slide in these gold leaves. And even though they kind of blend into the brown of the brown cardstock, I think it's nice to have something there. We might be able to utilize this black one. Let's trim it down shorter. That's not bad, but kind of bold. What do you think? These do have black on them. I think I'm gonna go with the black. You're probably screaming at me like, no, do the brown. Oh geez, I don't know. Ooh, maybe that will go there. Okay, we'll come back to that. Let's use the black one. Did I say the black one? Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so funny. I wish I was talking to you live. I mean, I am in the comments, but you know what I mean. Let's do the black one. Okay, so let's tie this in. Where'd my little squares go? I'm almost done with this little sheet, so just finishing them up here. And then let's look at the butterflies. I also have a sticker sheet. I forgot about that. Maybe there's some florals over there. So let's lightly tack that one because there might be a floral I want to tuck right there. I totally forgot about that. Okay, I do have some cardstock stickers. Oh yeah, see? Okay, here's some cute florals. Let's bring in one of those. Yeah. Because I kind of want more green leaves down here. You know, I'm not sure about the black. Although we might be able to tuck that right there. Oh, I like that. Okay, so let's do that. And then let's bring in something with some green leaves. Either this blue one or this pink one. I think I'm gonna try, oh, here's a little branch. Is there any other branches? I just think I like the scale of this larger blue leaf. You know what? It kind of disappears a little bit. Let's bring in this pink one too. I don't want to cover that corner completely. Let's do the branch. Let's do the branch. I am jumping all over the place. We'll tuck the little branch in there. I like that, and then I like the blue. Okay, we need to pop up the blue. Give that some lift. And then we'll look for butterflies. What do you think? What do you think so far? I also kind of want something under this photo, like a label. This cute label here. I like that. Let's leave that. And now let's look for butterflies. Remember, we can fussy cut some out. I'm kind of looking for things to scatter up here a little bit. That's why I'm thinking butterflies. Do we dare put a zebra? I don't think so. All right. I'm just scanning. I'm not seeing any butterflies on the sticker sheet. There's a butterfly net. Okay, let's try on these gold butterflies. And what do you think? I think they might be too big. But you know what could be fun? We have these clear ones. Do you think these will stand out on top of the gold ones? Or we could adhere these clear ones to white paper. I'm not totally hating those. All right, we'll come back to that. We also have, remember we have some butterflies, some smaller butterflies on the back of one of these pattern papers that we could fussy cut. So we could fussy cut these little small ones, which could be cute. Should we try a couple of those? Maybe we should work on the title and then come back to this part as I start cutting them. I almost think they might be too small, but let's come back to it. Okay, we're gonna work on our title next. And for the title, I have the foam stickers, and I'm actually borrowing a title idea from another Maggie Holmes collection that I almost used for this project. So I almost used Forever Fields for this project because of the colors, but I decided to do something a little brighter. So I love this that says Magic Moment. And I was thinking maybe we spell that out with these stickers. However, we could also just bring in this title. So let's audition it. I think Magic Moment would be so cute for like your senior dance, right? However, it kind of gets lost. So I'm not going to do that one. Let's bring in the gold and see if we have all the stickers for that. Okay, we might not. In fact, I'm not seeing any O's. However, we could trim the tail off the Q's. So let's go ahead and start spelling this because I think the gold is going to show up really well. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Okay, so I'm going to start spelling and hoping for the best. I think Magic Moment is a cute title for our senior dance here, our senior prom. So we will just start spelling this. And actually, maybe I should start on the other side because watch me like go off the edge. Okay, so let's do that. Let's come back this way. Maybe we'll be okay. Yeah, we're gonna be okay. Okay, let's grab our Q. And we're going to trim off the tail of this Q. I love when you're able to do that and then, you know, give yourself some more vowels here. Q's are a very cute letter, but I just don't use them very often. I almost named one of my daughters Quinn with the letter Q because I just think Q's when you write them are so cute. Did you guys think of that when you were naming your kids, or if you have kids, or maybe your pets? Do you think about how it looks when you write it? I am definitely one of those people. All right, so now we want to spell out the word magic. And this looks like the foam kind of stuck to it during manufacturing. So I'm just going to clean this up a little bit on this letter M. And if my title doesn't show up well enough against this floral, we might come back and layer an ephemera behind it. If I run out of time, I will do that off camera, but I actually think it's working out okay. So there's an M Oh yeah, this is going to be just fine. Cute. I'm loving it. I have a goal this year to use up as many letter stickers as I can. And in our last crop, last Saturday actually, Becky did the most amazing class showing all kinds of like decorative ideas, embellishment ideas for leftover letter stickers. It was so inspiring. And so if you did not attend that crop, you can still purchase it and come check it out. It was fantastic. Okay, so there's our magic moment for our title. Super cute. We can set these off to the side. I'm going to look at our stickers here and see if there's any fun little stickers. I think this one would be fun right there. Kind of overlapping onto that photo. I'm not going to peel the backing off the second one. I'm just going to set it here. That's really fun. I like that. Okay, and then I'm looking for any other phrases that I might want to add. I think that's good. So we could tuck in, this isn't on the sketch, there's no embellishing down here, but it might be fun to tuck something in. We'll come back to that. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're almost done. So let's go ahead and add in our butterflies. We're either going to do these clear ones, which they're growing on me, guys. The big, large butterflies are growing on me. Let's go ahead and fussy cut out a few little ones just to see what we think. See if we want to do those instead. But I kind of am loving the larger ones. They have a lot of presence to them. And then we'll finish up. So while I'm cutting these out, I just want to remind you, well, first of all, thank you for joining us for National Scrapbook Day. I hope you're having a blast bopping around to all the different places, see all the fun challenges and inspiration that are happening in our community. It's so much fun. We're doing the same thing. We're bopping all over the place. And it's such fun to have you join us. So Becky, of course, had a sketch before my sketch. So if you didn't catch that, you can definitely watch it on replay. But after that, after this, meet back here in a half an hour and we are going to scrapbook live together using the mood board. Now we're going to be using a mood board that is on our free download that you can go download at Let's Gather, at the Facebook group of Let's Gather and Glue. And come join us over there. All right, these are our smaller butterflies, which are pretty cute as well. I'd love to hear your vote. Do you guys vote for larger butterflies or smaller butterflies? I might do smaller. And we'll see what I decide in the closing shots. All right, I think I'll finish this up off camera so that we end up on time. Well, actually, I have a couple minutes. Let's see. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see. Let's see if I can fussy cut like the wind and throw a few on here. Again, go ahead and vote if you like the larger butterflies or the smaller butterflies. The reason I'm thinking smaller is I do have some journaling strips that will go right here that I'll be adding in. So I think the smaller ones might work out better. Give me a little bit more room for those journaling strips. We'll just set a few here so you can see what it looks like. Maybe we'll do something like this. And then maybe another one up here. All right, we're gonna cut a few more of these out. I think I'm going to stick to the pink and blue and purple butterflies that we've got going. Maybe one more pink one up here. I can't wait to see what you create with these sketches. I hope you'll come share them with us over in the Let's Gather and Glue Facebook group. You do need to request to join, so just fill out the questions, fill out the request to join, and we can get you in the group to share your projects. Even if you're watching on replay, come and show us what you decided to create. It's so much fun to see how you take inspiration from our live streams. And just a reminder, Becky and I do live stream a couple times a month. We have monthly challenges over in the Facebook group as well. And then each quarter we host a paid crop. We just finished our springtime crop. All of the information in there, we have designed it to be evergreen. So even if you find it after the fact and you just want to go watch the replays, you can purchase the crop and do that. You will find tons of inspiration, tons of examples, and all of it is using up your stash. We all have gorgeous supplies that we have gathered over the years. And so it is our goal to help you use them and have fun making projects and enjoying all of your beautiful products that you already own. So thank you so much for joining me today, joining Becky and I. Come back here in 30 minutes and we will be scrapbooking live using our mood board that is on our free download for National Scrapbook Day. You can download this in our Let's Gather and Glue Facebook group, and it includes 5 free sketches as well as a mood board. Becky scrapbooked earlier today using this sketch that she designed. I just used this one, but you have a double page one and also 2 additional single page layouts. We hope you enjoy utilizing those ideas, and we'll see you back here in a half hour. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Happy National Scrapbook Day.